Hi, I'm Francie Claire here today showing you why I do not let my son eat any school food. This is his breakfast menu for this month. And you'll see that all of the food options are extremely highly ultra processed foods. And that's a problem when his total carb goal right now is 25 grams or less because he's managing a condition that he works best with lower carbs. So he needs to focus on protein and satiating fats to feel full and for his body to get the nutrition it needs to grow and be healthy. And in my opinion, every child should be eating a nice whole foods diet that prioritizes protein and healthy fats and minimizes carbs, especially added sugars and all sorts of additives and fake things. So here we have what's available at his school. And we've got oatmeal bars, honey bun, Pop-Tart, Rips Berry Citrus, pull apart donut, maple pancakes. When I used to let him eat this, he loved the blueberry donut. He says those are heaven, the blueberry donut holes. They also have something called a Fruit Loop waffle, which I had never heard of. I cannot believe that exists, but it exists. And I'm supposed to be able to click here on this magnifying glass and see the nutrition pop out. That doesn't work, unfortunately, but I did Google and I could find the nutrition information for some of these. So I thought I would show you real quickly. Let's say that my son was allowed to eat this and he went to school and he said, "Oh, I want a Pop-Tart. I want a Pop-Tart and I want the Rips berry." All right. So let's see. A Pop-Tart. What do we have for a Pop-Tart? Pop-Tarts, I'm not sure you can see because my background overlay here, but the total carbohydrate in the Pop-Tart is 71 grams, and it includes 30 grams of added sugar. For protein, we only have 4 grams, and for fats, 8 grams. So this is a whopping sugar dump. Why they say 31 grams? I guess because that's interesting. Why do they say that? Oh, because they're talking about the added sugar. That's something that you really need to be aware of is that a lot of companies they'll say like only 3 grams of sugar because they're blanking out total carbs versus sugars, particularly added sugars. So you need to be really careful when you see it presented like this. You might think, oh, there's only 31 carbs in here. But no, there's 71 carbs. Total sugars is 31 grams, and the included added sugars is 30 grams. And dietary fiber is only 1 gram. So you'll see some people do a net carb where they subtract the fiber from the total carbs. Um, I don't particularly do that for my diet and my son's. We just think about total carbs. And so here, this would already put him at almost 3 times his daily target for carbs without even the Rips berry, which let's see with the nutrition information for that. Now, I couldn't actually find triple berry. I'm assuming maybe they're just calling it that, and it is one of these. The lowest offender here is 15 grams of carbs with 13 sugars. And the worst is 28 grams of carbs with 10 grams of the sugar, how they're breaking it out. Again, I don't consider that breakdown too meaningful. I just look at the total carbs. And you'll see how there's some trying to make this look healthy. No artificial colors or flavors, made with natural. Oh, this one says made with natural artificial flavors. Okay. But this one says no artificial colors, trying to make it say, oh, look, flavored with 100% juice from concentrate. And they have all these pictures of these beautiful fruits. So they make you think it looks so healthy and good for your child. But it is just pure sugar. It's like having a soft drink for breakfast. Now, I also looked up the Fruit Loop waffles. I found them. They exist. They're a thing. And surprisingly, they're healthier than a Pop-Tart. If you're thinking about total carbs, they have 32 grams with the 5 grams added sugar, so many fewer added sugar grams. And I guess this is instructions for how to do it for a school nutrition program. They highlight how it is 17 grams of whole grains. You got your whole grains that you supposedly need. Really, you don't. But they make it seem like this is very, very healthy and nutritional for your child. So going back here, let's say my son had a Pop-Tart and a citrus berry. Then if I'm using the lower 15 grams for that. We would say he had 71 plus 15, 86, 86. So that is more than 3 days worth of how many carbs he should be eating. Now, I'm very fortunate because I can afford to send him with food from home, so he doesn't need to eat any of these things. If I didn't have that ability, I would probably say, looking at this, the chicken biscuit or the sausage biscuit would likely be your best bet because those are going to have a nice solid patty, which hopefully is going to have some good solid protein and fat in there to make you feel full. And the biscuit likely is a little bit less offensive than a Pop-Tart or a donut. So if I had to pick, I would probably eat one of those. Now, I'm old enough that I remember when I was in school, they would always have scrambled eggs, a meat like breakfast sausage, and the tater tots. I can't imagine the tater tots are that healthy, but at least you would have a nice amount of protein and fat in the morning to feel satiated and ready to go. Right now, it's just really disappointing to see all this processed garbage as the options for breakfast. All right, that's all I have for today. See you around.